Good evening, Bahamas. Coming up tonight.
The Public Works Minister explains Tuesday's island-wide blackout.
Bus drivers on strike. Are there enough resources for a sexual offenders court? Plus, conch vendors split on a closed season for conch harvesting.
Our News is brought to you by Alive.
Welcome to Our News and thanks for joining us. I'm Kyle Joaquin. Public Works Minister DESMOND Bannister is blaming Tuesday's island-wide power outage on illegal dumping. The Public Works Minister sought to dispel assumptions that the outage was not caused by Bahamas Power and Light's historic power generation problems. This as frustrated BPL customers were hit with another wave of outages today. Jasmine Brown reports.
Bannister's explanation in the House of Assembly came nearly 24 hours after the entire island was plunged into darkness.
Sir, it was caused by someone who appears to have been engaged in illegal dumping.
BPL confirmed that the blackout began at 11:45 a.m. on Tuesday. Some areas of the island were brought back online over the course of the day, but others remained off for several hours. While outages over the past 2 weeks were due to planned load shedding, Bannister stressed that power generation was not the problem this time.
That was not caused by our historic generation or transmission challenges.
The Public Works Minister also explained that authorities have surmised that a large truck came into contact with a pole. According to Bannister, the damaged pole and debris are located on the eastern side of Coral Harbor Road.
It is clear that yesterday, sir, a heavy-duty vehicle was engaged in illegal dumping within the easement and came too close to one of the transmission poles. That impact caused the 132,000-volt lines to clash into each other, thereby imposing a major fault on the transmission network. The result was that generation at both power stations tripped offline, thereby causing a total island-wide outage.
While the incident left thousands without power for hours, Bannister says it could have been a tragic situation for the truck driver.
While we were all inconvenienced yesterday, we are thankful that power was restored as quickly as possible. However, sir, this incident could have ended up very tragically for the truck driver had his vehicle impacted that pole just inches from the actual point of impact. And accordingly, I am obliged to warn persons not to engage in this type of illegal conduct, as they could be taking their lives into their hands.
Although the Public Works Minister gave a detailed response to the island-wide blackout, he did not specifically address recent load shedding that has crippled businesses and left residents dealing with the sweltering summer heat. Bannister only reiterated claims that the $95 million Warcilla plant at Clifton Pier will bring relief by the end of the year. Reporting for Our News, I'm Jasmine Brown.
90% of bus drivers canceled their routes today to show their frustration with the transport minister, whom they say has failed to meet with them to discuss long-standing concerns. As a result, hundreds of passengers on 19 routes throughout New Providence were negatively impacted. Georgia Bain reports.
Bus drivers bringing business to a standstill just after noon today as they park all of their buses at the Old City Market building.
We decide to withdraw services from the roads. With the 19 existing roads, we pulled 90% of buses off the road in reference to the union giving Minister Renwick Wells 1 month notice to come meet with the union for the vaccine problems that is happening within the busing industry.
President of the Bahamas Unified Bus Drivers Union, FREDERIck, said that he has been trying to arrange a meeting with Minister of Transport Renwick Wells for months. The union president said if their requests are not answered, they are prepared to take drastic measures.
The next step, we are going to a full-blown strike, and we're going to basically just lock down the country because we're not asking for much. Just come to the drivers. It doesn't take long. Listen to what we have to say. Let's like I say, let's resolve these issues.
Following the union's press conference in June, Farrington said that they notified the minister that he had until July 1st to contact them on several vexing issues impacting the industry, but yet they have yet to hear from him, despite sending several letters to Wells's office. Farrington said drivers are seeking a fair increase, noting that the last increase was back in 2008.
From November 1st, 2008, there was not a single bus increase. We already went through 2 VAT increases, and during that 10.5 years, the cost of living has gone up at least 40 to 45%. So we are most definitely looking for an increase also.
Farrington said with the public transportation industry becoming more diverse, the needs of female drivers must also be addressed.
There's one restroom facility is dedicated for bus drivers, and within this industry we have female drivers also.
Reporting for our News, I'm Georgia Bain.
Nearly 4 years after the former Christie administration ordered a review into the response to the RUBIS oil spill that impacted dozens of residents in Marathon constituency, the report was tabled in the House of Assembly. Housing and Environment Minister Amal Ferreira, who is also the MP for Marathon, tabled those findings in the House of Assembly. According to the consultants, the spill occurred in late 2012, early 2013.
It is in the aftermath of that the government commissioned retired Justice Strawn to conduct an investigation with a promise that the investigation and the results thereof would be made public, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, in the aftermath of that tragedy, I met with the impacted residents, etc. As a matter of fact, in my then private capacity at that time, we had organized a number of litigation or litigious responses. We spoke with persons on the ground who were on the front lines, so to speak, and we listened to the people.
In May 2015, then Attorney General Alison Maynard Gibson announced the government had appointed retired Justice Joseph Strawn to conduct the independent review into the cause of the delayed release of the report on the RUBIS gasoline leak at the Robinson Road station. The report, dated July 29, 2016, noted the need for comprehensive and detailed action to plan to diminish the occurrence of spills. Well, despite repeated calls for a sexual offender court, Supreme Court Justice Bernard Turner insisted today that a court designated solely for dealing with sexual offenses could have a destructive effect on the country's court system. Jillian Gray has more.
While he admits that cases involving sexual offenses can take up to 18 months, Supreme Court Justice Bernard Turner said a lack of defense attorneys prohibits the judicial system from creating a sexual offenses court.
The reality of the fact that the sexual offenses matters, those persons, if they have counsel, the same counsel who are involved in other matters. And so when I say that courts are booked into 2021, there are criminal defense attorneys who, when they come to court and seek to set a trial date, would indicate that they are booked into 2022.
Earlier this year, then Acting Chief Justice Vera Watkins said lengthy delays in processing sexual offense cases often lead to the victim withdrawing the complaint. Watkins said a sexual offenses court would have tremendous benefit to the judicial system. However, Justice Turner argued that there are limited resources to facilitate that, including the necessary space.
You move all of these sexual offenses matters to a particular court, it would have a disruptive impact because of the fact that those same attorneys who may be representing those defendants are also scheduled before other courts.
Activists have also pushed for the implementation of a sexual offenders registry. Justice Turner, though shying away from that subject, said in many cases some communities have already identified such individuals.
In our communities, and persons know that, and everybody knows that A or B or C or D likes to do certain things, but they still continue to exist in the community, and other people may not be aware of them. And so, persons may be out there who have a certain proclivity. It's a criminal justice matter, it's a separate issue. Proof of that is something which comes about in the form of structure, following the rules of evidence, in terms of proof of any criminal offense. In terms of protective measures, however, societies and communities have an obligation to protect themselves.
Justice Turner said when offenders are identified, the evidence must match, as in some instances, complaints are made for various reasons. Reporting for our News, I'm Jillian Gray.
A 35-year-old Peruvian man died in Grand Bahamas Rand Memorial Hospital Tuesday after police say he was struck by a hit-and-run driver over the weekend. According to police reports, the driver of a black Honda Civic struck the pedestrian on East Sunrise Highway on Sunday, then kept going. EMS personnel rushed the man to hospital in serious condition. He succumbed to his injuries 2 days later. Police have located the 26-year-old driver of the Honda. Investigations continue. Still to come, would conch vendors support conch season? Plus, Ragged Island street residents react to yesterday's murder. Stay tuned.